Imagine, if you can, a vast and silent hall where time itself seems to dissolve. In this eternal space, the Creator gazes at you. His eyes don't merely see who you will become. They see who you are, long before you ever existed. In that moment, you are more than just a possibility. You are a promise, a purpose. God whispers, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." These words carry a depth that crosses centuries, a declaration of love and intent that defies human understanding. In that divine moment, there is no rush, no doubt. To Him, you already exist in your fullness. Not just as flesh and bone, but as essence, as a calling. You're not an accident, not brought into this world without reason. From the very beginning, there was a meticulously crafted plan, and you were always part of it. Before your first breath, He was tracing invisible lines on your path, a map that guides your struggles, your victories, and even your tears. Now, imagine as you grow and become who you are meant to be, that there is a constant presence, a hand that shapes, a gaze that guides. Perhaps, in certain moments, you have wondered why some challenges seem to be written exclusively for you. There's a force that drives you forward, even when the road is barren and the obstacles feel almost insurmountable. Every struggle draws something new from within you, something hidden. Every victory echoes somewhere far beyond this world, like a melody only the chosen can hear. But if this feels distant, perhaps too grand to be real, then maybe it's time to open your eyes to the subtle marks left along your path. There are moments in life when it feels like everything around you is conspiring against you. It's as if invisible forces align to test what's deepest in your heart. And in those moments, something remarkable happens. Your faith, the very faith that feels so solid in peaceful times, is put to the test. But the chosen, those who carry the touch of God, experience this test in a unique way. For them, faith is not just a belief. It's an anchor, an unquenchable flame that stays alive even when the strongest winds try to put it out. Imagine standing in the face of a storm, watching everything around you threaten to collapse, while those who once supported you now question your sanity, your courage, your very faith. For the chosen, faith in these times isn't a matter of logic or circumstance. It's a rock that withstands time, an unbreakable bond with the divine. No matter what people say, no matter how many times they try to tear you down, you stand firm. And it's on this solid ground that the true strength of the chosen begins to shine. When Paul said, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" he was speaking of that indestructible faith that sustains those marked with a purpose. It's not the faith that appears on tranquil days, but the kind that rises against the storm, that defies the impossible and challenges the very logic of the world. It's faith that stands when reason fails, that remains steady even when the ground seems to crumble beneath your feet. But if this resilient faith sustains you, you soon realize that something more accompanies the chosen. Imagine yourself in a dense forest, with towering trees and roots that intertwine across the ground, creating nearly insurmountable obstacles. Night falls, and the darkness around you feels alive, a tangible presence swallowing everything in its path. The air grows heavy, the silence becomes deafening, and fear whispers in the shadows, trying to convince you to turn back, to give up. Yet, even in this place where everything seems to conspire against you, an unexpected peace begins to bloom within, a peace that defies logic, a certainty that you are not alone. It's as if an invisible hand rests upon your shoulders, a force that lifts and guides you even when fear tries to paralyze you. You take one step, then another, realizing that wherever you tread, nothing can harm you. This feeling is more than just protection. It is the presence of God, surrounding you like an invisible shield. Even in the darkest hours, He has sent His angels to encircle you, so that even though danger lurks nearby, you remain unshaken. These angels don't appear as lights or supernatural figures, but their presence is felt like warmth in your heart, a strength that pushes you forward, a calm that allows you to walk on troubled waters without sinking. It's as if the very universe leans in to protect you, opening pathways where there once were only barriers. And in this certainty, with every step you take, you realize that this divine protection is more than just a blessing. It's a sign, a mark you carry for being chosen, a reminder that as you walk this road, you are covered by a greater purpose. But this divine protection comes with a cost, and with it, a deeper calling awaits you. There's a strange feeling that touches those who carry a deep calling. A moment when the noise of the world seems to quiet down, and everything around you fades, as if you're being led into a solitude so tangible it almost feels physical. This is the isolation that only the chosen experience. not an absence of company, but a necessary withdrawal, a separation that may feel painful but carries a hidden purpose. Imagine yourself walking alone in a desert, where the heat of the day and the cold of the night challenge your endurance. During the day, you feel the weight of isolation, a sense of emptiness around you that forces you to look within. It's as if everything you relied on for guidance, familiar voices, advice, comfort, has disappeared, leaving only you and the sound of your own footsteps. But paradoxically, it's in this solitude that something begins to awaken. This isolation is not a punishment, but a whisper from the divine, an opportunity to hear God's voice without distractions, without interference. Just as young David, alone on the hills, found God's presence in the silence of the nights, you begin to realize that this separation from the world is a doorway. There, amidst the emptiness, God speaks, and his voice is clearer than any other. He reveals mysteries that cannot be understood in the crowd, things only the chosen can comprehend, for they have been set apart from the ordinary for something sacred. Loneliness, as painful as it may be, is the fertile ground where inner strength is cultivated. Like a warrior preparing for battle, you are being trained, strengthened, to face that which only the chosen can endure. And as you walk this path of isolation, a new reality begins to take shape before your eyes. In the heart of every chosen one, there burns a flame, an unshakable conviction, an integrity that shines even in the darkest days. Imagine standing before a path filled with easy shortcuts, tempting doors that promise convenience and comfort but lead away from true purpose. For many, these shortcuts seem harmless, even appealing. But for the chosen, each choice is sacred, each decision an affirmation of what is eternal, and compromise is not an option. It's like a warrior standing before a vast army, holding his sword steady while everyone around him urges him to abandon his post, to conform to the easier path. But there's a force in his chest, a silent calling that keeps him grounded. Those who carry God's touch possess something the world cannot understand: the unwavering conviction that their life is not their own but a reflection of something greater. This fierce loyalty to truth sets the chosen apart from everyone else. No matter how many voices question, mock, or try to sway him, he remains unyielding, like a rock in the middle of the storm. This moral integrity, this unbreakable conviction, is more than a choice. It's a silent oath made with the Creator. It's as if the heart of the chosen is a sanctuary, a place where only God's truth can dwell, where nothing that contradicts that truth can enter. This commitment makes him a beacon, a living testimony that the light of truth can shine even in the darkest corners, defying the surrounding shadows. And as he stands firm, sustained by this integrity, a new battle begins to take shape before his eyes. Then, a silent warrior walking through the night, where the peace of sleep is interrupted by a strange sensation, a heaviness in the air, as if an invisible storm is brewing all around. For the chosen, this is no ordinary battle. It's a spiritual war, a fight that can't be seen but is felt deep within the soul. Unlike battles fought with swords and shields, this one is against forces with no face, enemies that strike silently and precisely, exploiting every weakness, every hidden fear. It's like being surrounded, alone, unable to see who or what is closing in. The mind, the heart, even the spirit, become battlegrounds where greater forces are at war. For the chosen, this fight comes with an unexplainable intensity, as if a mysterious force hurls itself at them, trying to distract, weaken, or sever their ties to the divine purpose. But even when everything around feels hostile, an inner strength rises, a call to resist that echoes within them. I am with you. These attacks are not signs of imminent defeat. Rather, they are confirmations that the chosen one is on the right path. The enemy knows, more than anyone, the power that each chosen one carries, and for this reason, it tries in every way to lead them astray. But as Paul said, this is not a battle against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces hiding in the shadows, trying to make the chosen believe they are alone. Yet, it's precisely in these moments of spiritual battle that the chosen become even more aware of God's presence, as if an invisible armor surrounds them. They realize that this war is a constant reminder of the value of their mission, that the strength sustaining them comes from something far greater than themselves. And as they fight, they sense a new revelation beginning to emerge in their spirit. An ordinary day, a busy street where people are rushing, each one immersed in their own worries. Amid all this haste, the chosen sees something others don't. He notices the weary faces, the downcast eyes, the broken smiles. He sees the pain that others overlook, the sadness hidden in the shadows. While everyone else passes by, he stops. There's something in his heart that won't let him move on, a quiet voice that whispers, "Stop. Hey, love." For the chosen, each encounter with someone in pain is a sacred opportunity. It doesn't matter if it's a stranger or an old friend, a beggar or a lost child. He is compelled to act, to put his own life on hold for a moment to listen, to look into their eyes, to offer comfort. It's as if his heart was crafted to recognize and embrace the suffering of others, like a key that fits perfectly into the lock of every wounded soul. When he reaches out, the chosen isn't just helping. He becomes a reflection of God's grace. In every kind word, in every sincere embrace, there is something divine, a force that soothes, that warms, that transforms. He's not just comforting a person, he's igniting a flame of hope, showing that, even in the darkest moments, God's love is present. And as he offers this generous love, he begins to feel something shifting within himself as well. He realizes that this compassion, this empathy that cannot be contained, is truly a mission, a deep calling that connects him to a purpose far greater than he could have imagined. Every act of kindness is a piece of a puzzle that begins to reveal itself, a divine connection that leads him to understand that his life is part of something infinitely greater. And as he surrenders to this compassion, he feels new doors beginning to open within his soul, revealing mysteries that only the chosen can comprehend. Imagine a heart that, in the midst of hardship and disappointment, refuses to lose hope. For the chosen, hope is more than just a feeling. It's a quiet strength, an unbreakable thread that holds them steady even when everything around them seems to crumble. It's as if, in the deepest darkness, there is a small flame burning within, a light that persists and reminds them that, even in the bleakest moments, God is still present, guiding them towards something greater. Think of an ancient tree, with roots that reach deep into the ground. Even when the strongest winds blow, even when storms threaten to tear it from its place, it stands firm. This is the hope of the chosen, a deep root that extends beyond circumstances, beyond what the eyes can see. They look to the horizon with a certainty that, despite losses and challenges, something of value awaits them. It's as if there's a secret pact between them and the divine, a promise that God's word is true, even when days feel long and nights endless. While others see delays as a reason to give up, the chosen see them as a call to strengthen their faith. They don't wait only for what they can see, but for the promise that beats within them. This waiting isn't passive, it's active, filled with a sacred expectation that God is at work, even in the unseen details. This hope becomes a compass, pointing them toward the purpose yet to be revealed. And as they hold fast to this hope that defies logic, they begin to sense a mysterious presence beside them, a reminder that the journey is far from over and that something more awaits, just ahead. Imagine yourself in the middle of a crowd, surrounded by familiar voices and faces, yet feeling a deep, strange sense of solitude. For the chosen, this feeling of isolation is almost inevitable, an experience shared by all who carry a divine calling. It's the weight of not belonging, a sense of being different, of walking a path that not everyone can see or understand. It's as if there's an invisible line separating them from the world, a barrier that others can't see but that they feel with every step. It's not that they don't want to fit in. Often, they try. But deep down, there's a quiet voice that whispers they were made for something different, for a purpose that sets them apart, that requires special dedication, a life guided by divine vision. This isolation, as painful as it may be, is a mark of the chosen. It's a reminder that they have been set aside for something sacred, something that demands consecration and focus. Imagine a lone traveler on a deserted road, where each step echoes in the emptiness and every shadow seems to whisper secrets of the unknown. This traveler is not lost. They are being led. The solitude invites them to dive deep within, to seek a connection with God that transcends the understanding of others. It is in this isolation that they uncover hidden truths, visions that reveal themselves only in the silence, where God's presence is more tangible than ever. This feeling of being different, of not being fully understood, is proof of the calling they carry. And it is on this journey of solitude that a quiet strength begins to emerge, a strength that prepares them for something they cannot yet see but that is drawing near. Imagine a heart ignited by an intense, unwavering passion for truth and justice, a flame that burns constantly within the chosen. This is no ordinary passion. It's a zeal that drives them to stand up, to speak out, to act when everything around them seems to sink into comfortable conformity. This strength comes from a deep commitment to what is right, to what is just. For the chosen, simply observing the world passively isn't enough. They feel called to be a voice, a presence that upholds divine values, that raises the banner of truth amidst the darkness. Picture yourself facing a situation where injustice is clear. Maybe others around prefer to ignore it, to move on, to avoid trouble. But for the chosen, that's not an option. There's something in their soul that stirs, that won't let them stay silent. It's as if a force pushes them forward, like a voice that says, "Stand up and speak." This passion for justice is a mark, an invisible seal that sets the chosen apart from others. It doesn't matter if they're alone, if truth puts them at odds with many, they stand firm, unshakable, like a lighthouse challenging the storm. This pursuit of truth is a mission, a purpose they carry with an intensity few can understand. And in every moment they rise for what is just, they feel God's presence beside them, a silent strength giving them courage. Every word, every act of justice becomes a living testimony, a reflection of God's own character. And as they fight for this truth, a new awareness begins to grow within their heart, something that leads them to realize that their actions are connected to something even greater and deeper. For a moment, possessing a vision that goes beyond what the eyes can see, an almost supernatural discernment that guides the chosen through the complexities of human relationships. For the chosen, the gift of discernment is more than just heightened perception. It's a spiritual compass, a silent beacon that warns them of what is hidden. They sense what words don't say, see what smiles disguise, and perceive what gestures don't reveal. This gift is an invisible shield, a protection that keeps them from straying from their divine purpose. Imagine standing before someone with concealed intentions, someone who may even smile but carries a shadow in their heart, an intention that contradicts the truth. The chosen don't need proof. They sense, they know. It's as if an inner light illuminates every intention, every emotion around them, revealing what's hidden in the shadows. This gift preserves them from relationships that could derail their mission, from traps others might not even notice. This discernment goes beyond appearances, beyond words and gestures. It's a clear, silent perception, like a breeze that blows and brings with it God's whisper, saying, "Here, you are safe. There, proceed with caution." It's a wisdom that can't be learned, but is given to the chosen to protect them and keep them on the right path, a compass pointing toward truth. And as the chosen follow this divine intuition, they begin to realize that this gift is part of a preparation for something even deeper and more revealing. Imagine a mind touched by an inspiration not of this world, a creativity that seems to flow from the very heart of God. For the chosen, solutions come from unexpected places. Ideas are born where others see only obstacles, and vision expands where others see limits. It's as if they carry a seed of divine creativity, an ability to find pathways where no one else sees possibilities. This ability to see beyond, to create and innovate, isn't just a talent. It's a gift, an endowment that empowers them to transform the world around them. Think of moments of crisis, when everything seems stuck and every solution feels out of reach. There, where most feel paralyzed, the chosen see an opening, a spark, an idea that breaks through the impossible. They act with confidence, propelled by a wisdom that comes from something much greater than themselves, finding a clarity that only those guided by God can perceive. This creativity is more than a practical skill. It's a manifestation of the divine, proof that God works through His chosen, empowering them to bring light amidst the darkness. Have you ever felt that kind of inspiration, that vision that arises in the most challenging moments? Then you know what we're talking about. God places these unique gifts within His chosen so they can make an impact, so they can inspire. And if you want to learn more about how to live with this inspiration, how to activate this divine creative power in your life, join us. Subscribe to the channel and embark on this journey of discovery, where each video opens the door to understanding how God's purpose manifests in every detail of your life. And as you open yourself to this divine inspiration, you realize there is an even more mysterious and powerful gift waiting to be revealed.